Hi, I'm Rodney Sharp, President of SharpGrade International. Today I'd like to introduce you to our latest model, the GF110, and the F standing for fixed frame non-retracting. So this is a SharpGrade for the guys who don't grade every single day. They don't transport them so much. They want a grader that does perfect work, but they don't want to spend all the money with retracting wheels and all the other features that we offer on our other models. So this is designed for the 75 to 90 horsepower market, which is the biggest market in the world. It's 110 inches tip to tip when it's in this position here, and it's 75 inches, which is 1.9 meters, when it's articulated and the wings are closed. So 75 inches will cover a mid-frame tracks and not spill into the track. So it's designed perfectly for that market. So it has hydraulic side wings like all of our other models, and it has a rear blade so you can grade and reverse, and we'll talk about that shortly. It has an underslung walking beam that pivots from the bottom instead of the top, and that's a feature that we have on all our models, and this reduces the wheel scuff in the turns. One of the things you'll notice is that this walking beam is on an angle, and this is our latest innovation, and this sets one wheel leading the other. And the reason for this is if you're grading surfaces, particularly those that have been graded with a bulldozer, the blade being a center pivot will always lift both sides at once, and so you end up with steps in your subgrade. So when the wheels are staggered, when they go over them, they'll go over them one at a time, and this will reduce the lift and stagger it so that it's easier for the automated control to control the blade. So just another little feature that we do to get precision grading, because that's what we're all about. So we have our standard sealed for life wheel bearings with double labyrinths. So all of these wheels have labyrinths in them to keep the dirt out and to keep string line out, because string line is something that really destroys wheel bearings. So these have double labyrinths. They also have a stem protector on the valve stems, so when you're pushing through aggregate, they don't get torn off. So just all these little features give you maximum life. It has twin parabolic mirrors, and they're mounted to the outside. We were the first to innovate like that. So now you can see the blade and the wings in all positions. We have bump stops on the walking beam so that it doesn't bang and crash when the wheels are in the air. So we have our hydraulic side wings like all of our other grader blades. Now these have two horseshoes on them which are tungsten armored. So the reason that there's two is that when you wear the bottom one out, you take the blade off, it unbolts with two bolts, and you take it off and you put it on the other side. You just tip it upside down and that blade goes on here. The cutting edge now has two tungsten armored edges, so you get double the life. So the blade is reversible, these are now reversible. So we're into trying to maximize the amount of life that you get out of all components. The wing, like all the others, is sealed for life, so you never have to grease it, and it's completely grease free. It has a rub bar on the side, so when you're working with around curbs, you can run up against the curb without damaging it. Really important. So they're fully hydraulic, operated off the joysticks, just like all the others. So we have mounts for extended poles, or if you've got Trimble poles, you can mount them on there, so that fits the Trimble pole. So a lot of built-in functionality. We have sensor mounts for all of the mainstream 3D systems. So if you need to have an IMU mounted on the chassis, we've got one there. We've also got a mount underneath for different IMUs, and a mount in the center for a blade IMU. So we've got lots of facilities for IMUs to be able to just be bolted on. So we try and think of anything. We also have a rotation sensor bracket if you want to run a rotation sensor. So all of these things you can buy as add-ons, or it can be just a very basic grader. It has electronic load sense, and that gives us very fast, precise response, and that's what we're about. We're about being really quick to respond. We run proportional valves. It's the same control module that we use on our bigger graders. So it's got all of the high quality equipment just packaged in a more economic module. It's got our patented QuadRod linkage, which is sealed for life. So it's grease filled and then sealed for life and then shielded so that the grit can't get in. And they basically last the life of the machine. We've got machines now that have done 8,000 hours and never had the linkages replaced, so they last a long time. All of our linkages, all of our cylinders, they all have the same design so that they're sealed for life, so you never have to grease anything, and they're zero clearance, and zero clearance means higher accuracy. So that's what we're always into is precision. It has our standard adjustable height hitch plate, so you can set the blade perfectly level, which is really important when you have hydraulic wings, because if you don't have your blade level, when you sweep forward and reverse, the blade will cut at a different height, which is not what you want. So we're the only ones out there that do the adjustable hitch plate. Very innocuous, but it is really important. So you can have our QuadRod 2D laser, and you can also have that with QuadRod Pro. So a lot of machines now with multifunction joysticks, a bobcat, case, cat, deer, Kubota, Takeuchi, anything that's got multifunction joysticks, we can operate it completely wirelessly from the cab, no wiring up the boom, so nice and quickly. It's a plug and play, so we're the only ones that can offer a plug and play solution straight out of the box. So we pre-tune these at the factory and send them out, and you plug them on and you start grading. Really simple. It can also be operated on models with electronic joysticks with our new SharpGrade joystick control, which basically it turns your right hand joystick into a 6-way blade control. So another innovation that we've done. Who would buy this? So farmers, counties who want to dress their roads, they're not looking for a big motor grader. Anyone who does part-time grading or who doesn't travel a lot, that don't require the retracting wheels and all the other features. It's got the same cylinders, it's got the same linkages, it's sealed for life. So it's got all the features of our premium line of graders. It's just packed in a more economic unit with non-retracting wheels and the simple, what we call our simple wings, which don't have the linkages in them. But everything else is the same. You can grade in reverse, cover your tracks, do everything. So you can manipulate and control your material just like all other SharpGrades. And you can see the height of the blade. We really get a nice roll on that material. We're taller than anyone else, and that prevents or reduces segregation when you're working especially with roading material. So, you know, it's got all of the features. It's just built in a more economic package. It comes with graduated laser receiver poles, and if you're running 2D, this is really helpful because you set your blade on your datum, set your receiver to strike the laser, note the dimension, and then set the other one to exactly the same height, and then you're ready to go. You don't need a tape measure or anything like that. So quick and accurate, that's what we're into. This will also can have our grade assist, which means it will maintain a constant crossfall in relation to the height set manually from one side, and you can set that to the master height to be on the left or the right hand side. So we also offer sonic control, so you can do read a string line, or you can grade match off an existing surface. So lots of good features, and with our aligned slope sensor, which we have a patent on, we're the only 2D system where you can articulate your blade and not alter your crossfall. So really handy to have. It has a rear blade, just the same as all of our other models, and it's pivoting, and you need that pivoting blade, because if you don't, the material will pack under there and you'll end up with a leveling bar which you can't trim with. We have a shock absorber spring, so that if you strike something, instead of putting all the shock into the structure, it reduces the impact and dissipates it as heat in the spring. You know, once again, all the features, just in a more economic package. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want any more information, feel free to reach out to us at www.sharpgrade.com. There you'll find a list of our dealers throughout the world and links to information and videos. So please feel free to reach out, and thank you for your time.